Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true.
Indicom probing police killing of alleged gunman at Port Kaiser. The Independent Commission of Investigations Indicom is probing the shooting death of an unidentified man by an off-duty police officer at Port Kaiser in Manchester on Tuesday. Indicom says the police have reported that the concerned officer and the woman were at the beach when the policeman was approached by a man with a gun who demanded his bag. It is alleged that the man fired in the direction of the policeman, who subsequently discharged his firearm at the man. Indicom says a chrome firearm without serial numbers was reported as recovered from the incident scene. It says the concerned officer provided an initial account to Indicom investigators and was subsequently issued with a notice to provide a statement and attend the office of the commission to be interviewed. Persons with information that can help with the investigation are being asked to contact the Commission's office by sending information, photos and videos to Indicom's official WhatsApp number at 876-553-5555. PPV Steering Committee to put together proposal on fare adjustments. The newly formed Public Passenger Vehicle PPV Steering Committee is to put together a proposal to fine-tune fare adjustments for the transport sector. Minister of Transport Darrell Voss made the disclosure during a post-cabinet press briefing held at Jamaica House St. Andrew. The first steering committee meeting was held 2 weeks ago and another held on Tuesday, August 29. The report was that the group put together a proposal to fine-tune fare adjustments, which will be concluded with a meeting on Thursday, August 31. That will set the stage for recommendations to come through the process, as I know that this is a pressing matter that, along with other issues, Voss stated. The burning issue of a fare increase will finally be dealt with in terms of how it is handled, which means coming up with the formula that will dictate what is the reason for the need of a fare increase, he added. The minister further noted that instead of fare increases being done in an ad hoc manner, he has asked that a timeline for reviews being done, whether it's annually or biannually, so that we can have something in place, rather than it being ad hoc and coming to the minister from different organizations. The PPV Steering Committee was established on the recommendation of Voss following a Transport Authority conference held earlier this year. It is chaired by the Managing Director of the Transport Authority, Ranstar Smith. MOE mulling sanctions for school administrators who act outside grooming policy. Principals who bar students from school because of grooming infractions may face sanctions under the draft National Grooming Policy. Minister of Education Anyut Favor Williams said the draft policy is being disseminated to schools and the ministry is considering penalties against the schools that breach the guidelines once it is finalized. With the draft policy in place, as soon as we finalize it, we're going to have to think about the sanctions, because you're putting children in danger when you lock them out. You are denying them education as well, she stated. The draft grooming policy will serve as the benchmark against which administrators ought to formulate grooming rules. Speaking at the post-cabinet press briefing on Wednesday, Williams emphasized that it is not a policy of the Ministry of Education to lock out or send home students who showed up to school and are not in 100% compliance with school rules. The draft policy, which is the result of consultative process among education stakeholders, aims to reduce discriminatory practices regarding hairstyles and other grooming rules, while at the same time addressing the need for discipline and adherence to societal values at the school level. The Jamaica Youth Advocacy Network, JYAN, is urging vigilance in the grooming policy, had called for sanctions to be laid against rogue schools who do not adhere to it. This policy must go much further than providing guidelines, but strict rules of adherence for institutions with stated penalties. The standard in our public education sector must be of respect of diversity in religion, in cultural practice, and expressions, its exclusive director Shanik Bowden said in a statement. The Education Minister, in the meantime, reiterated the need for a school to utilize other forms of punishment for students who breach grooming rules. We have to change behavior. You have to ensure as school leaders you are consultative in all that you do, so get buy-in to parents who can monitor and ensure that their children show up. We have in-school activities that students can do. They can be placed on detention or something like that, but there are other ways other than the drastic lockout of students from school, she stated. Arrangement for coaster buses in Halfway Tree being modified. Plans are put in place to relocate the coaster buses that normally set down passengers in the lane close to the Halfway Tree Transport Center in St. Andrew. Chairman of the Transport Authority, Owen Ellington, said discussions are being held with the relevant stakeholders on the matter. Speaking at a post-cabinet press briefing at Jamaica House, Ellington explained that some weeks ago an effort was made to relocate some of the coaster buses to the transport center. The assessment of that shows that it has been working pretty well, that there is capacity within the transport center to accommodate more buses. So under serious consideration is the proposal to relocate buses that come down from Constant Spring Road and Red Hills Road and have them set down and pick up passengers inside the transport center, he stated. There is also a proposal to create additional taxi stands in and around the Halfway Tree area, particularly along North Eden Avenue, in front of Mandela Park and Spencer James Avenue. In support of this, Mr. Ellington said the plan is to erect directional signs in and around the area to guide commuters as to where they can go to board vehicles to their destinations in and around the corporate area. There will also be signs directing public transport operators to the new locations that they may be required to use to set down and pick up passengers. The general idea is to prevent buses and taxis from stopping and blocking live lanes as they seek to put down and pick up passengers, as well as to prevent commuters from having to walk long distances across the street, oftentimes putting their safety at risk in order to board taxis and buses. What we want is a system that enables transfer from one modality to the other, all taking place inside the transport center, Ellington explained. There are also plans to reconstruct the safety guardrail along the roadways in Halfway Tree to enhance commuter safety. It is also the intention to have monitors to time manage the vehicles in the transport center so that there is no clogging of the space. Meanwhile, Ellington noted that there are concerns from operators about the risk of extortion activities in Halfway Tree Town Center. We spoke to the Deputy Commissioner in charge of crime and sent members of the organized crime branch to the center as well, because we are going to commence immediately an assessment on the potential for criminal activities impeding our efforts, and we are committed to take every step within the law to prevent it from happening, he stated.
Under serious consideration, and which is to be discussed this afternoon at midday at a meeting with transport operators, is a proposal to relocate buses that come down from Constant Spring Road and Red Hills Road and have them set down and pick up passengers inside of the transport center, and to create additional stands for taxis in and around the Halfway Tree area, particularly along North Odeon Avenue in front of the Mandela Park and where they are now, which is the Spencer James Avenue. We intend to erect a lot of directional signs in and around the area. These are signs that will guide commuters as to where they can go to board vehicles to their destinations in and around the corporate area. There will also be signs directing public transport operators as to the new locations that they may be required to use to set down and pick up passengers. The general idea is to prevent buses and taxis from stopping in and blocking live lanes as they seek to put down and pick up passengers, as well as to prevent commuters from having to walk long distances and cross the street, oftentimes putting their safety at risk in order to board taxis and buses. What we want is a system that enables transfer from one modality to the other, all taking place inside of the transport center.
NWA to activate 4 new traffic signals in Montego Bay. The National Works Agency, NWA, is set to commission 4 new traffic signals into service in Montego Bay, St. James on Friday in a bid to reduce congestion in the city. The traffic signals are installed at the intersection of Middle Road and at the Felicity Roadway, Felicity and Sun Valley Road, Felicity and South Spring Road, and South Spring Road and Vernon Drive. The NWA says these signals are expected to regulate the flow of traffic at these intersections and to improve the safety of road users. The agency notes that congestion has been a serious concern in the city of Montego Bay, and the government is now undertaking the Montego Bay Bypass project to alleviate the problem. However, it says in the interim, motorists have been using roadways on the outskirts of Montego Bay as a bypass of the center. One such route takes commuters through the community of Iron Shore along Dr. Horace Young Boulevard, Middle Road, and several other communities before exiting onto Westgate Boulevard. Community Relations Officer at the NAA, Janet Ricketts, says the agency has sought to reduce the pressure on the roadways through the installation of traffic signals, road markings, and road signs. Additionally, several roadways on the outskirts of Montego Bay were rehabilitated to provide viable alternatives for commuters. Additionally, as part of the new traffic management plan, the Middle Road in Norwood St. James is to be converted to a one-way traffic flow traveling northbound towards the direction of the Jamaica Defence Force Barracks in Norwood.
Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell.